take it like, oh, this is so funny that he wants to give her, and I even put on there, give her a raw steak seasoned with gunpowder. I mean, like, it's just funny in the context of three people who find her evil, but once it goes corporate, it's not funny. And I was just like, no, why would this happen? Why would, and I was like, well, I can only blame myself, because, all jokes don't go down right. They just don't. You want them to, but they don't always go down right. And you just have to be like, okay, well, we'll see how this one falls into place. But I really do have a feeling it's going to go badly for a whole lot of people. It really is. And I am not sorry, but I think it is so funny. I'm like, this is bad. It really is bad. So, because like one time, and this just reminds me, when I was working for this chocolate factory, I really did. I worked for a chocolate factory in Chicago. It wasn't Willy Wonka's, but it was a chocolate factory. It was supposed to be this high-end chocolate, but it was nasty. It wasn't even good. So, I had given my 2 weeks notice because I had realized it wasn't a place for me. I was like, I'm over this place. I hate the people. It's just turning into something I never thought it was. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. And I was just like, I was over it. I was completely over it. So I'm attending one of several of my last meetings, but I had given notice, but it wasn't like I was leaving on bad terms by any means. I was just leaving. And so there was this girl, and she was an oddball. She was an oddball for Chicago especially, but she was so funny. Like, she just had this really warped sense of humor, and we loved her for it. Because she dressed bad, her hair was bad, but she knew she wasn't trying to be commercially mainstream or fashionable. She was her own person, and we loved her for it. So in the mornings, sometimes she would give us these sticky notes about who we were in our past lives. So every morning, or some mornings when she would do this, like sometimes I would be like a rich heiress, or I was a Native American, or I was something, but I was always something really interesting. And she would stick your name and what you did and what you were or whatever in your past life, and we would act like we were that person when we would be around each other. It was a fun game. It really was fun. It was like, I don't know why she thought of it, but it was fun. And so we all went along with it. It was just fun. So this one particular morning, and I don't know why, but one particular morning, she gave me a name and said I was a Holocaust survivor. And I was like, oh, and I took it really seriously. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, I thought, oh wow, I got something that, I don't know. It was endearing to me. I took it very personally because I've gone to the Museum of Tolerance. Me and my mom went when I was younger, and we had such a bonding experience, and we loved it, and we had such appreciation for the Jewish experience, and it was just great. Like, that Museum of Tolerance was so eye-opening to my mom and I, and took it very seriously. So when I got the Holocaust survivor sticky note, I was really thankful. I really was. And I know it was a game, but I was very thankful. And so so we get called into this meeting, and I totally forgot to take off my sticky note. So it's still sitting there. Now, I'm looking across the table, and there's one girl named Katie, who everyone just hated. She was just the worst. I hated her. She just broke out into tears, and I'm talking like Meryl Streep tears. Not like, she didn't break out into like tears like, just one trickle down the face or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that at all. It was quite the opposite. It was like it was kind of like the tears, like, like, boo-hoo, you hurt my feelings, I am done with you, and it's just horrible, just tears, full on bawling. And I just couldn't understand what was wrong. And she pointed at me like, almost like, you know how when a person says, look over there, right there. That kind of point. And she points at me and she goes, I cannot believe he's so insensitive and he's an anti-Semite. And I was like, I'm a what? I was like, what? And so the girl who gave me the sticky note was like, your sticky note. And I was like, oh no, it's a joke. And I was like, oh, that's not gonna help. And she goes, oh, so you think the Holocaust is a joke? And I was like, no. I was like, oh no. I was like, you know what? I can't explain it. And I was like, there's nothing I can do. I was like, I don't. I was like, I really don't know how to. I don't know. And I left it at that. And I was like, yeah, I was speechless. So I had to go tell my boss. It was like, well, let me explain to you what it is. And so the girl was Jewish. Her grandmother, turns out she's a Holocaust survivor. And turns out like my boss was Jewish too. So it sn't going down well at all. So I explained to the best of my ability, and I had to have the call the girl. I'm not a snitch or anything, but I had to call her in. I was like, "Can you just kind of help me with this?" And so she comes in, and she's like, "Yeah, I kind of do this thing," and he goes, "No, it's intolerable for you guys to be making jokes that the Holocaust is not a joke." And I was like, "Well, the Holocaust isn't a joke, but the thing that she does is kind of a joke for us. It's kind of just a fun that we have. And today of all days, I got this one and I took it very seriously and I liked it, And I was like, but I didn't mean to wear it." And he's like, "You guys are still insensitive and this is not the type of environment." Oh, he was livid. And I was just like, something so innocent, like literally just went bad. Like it just went so bad. Like, and I was just like, wow. Like, oh wow, that's just, oh wow. So really, it's like lesson learned, I guess, But it was the same thing with Rosemary's Baby, and I'm like making this joke like between three people because the three of us always talk about how much we can't stand her. And so who knew that it was going to go any further than us three of us, raw meat with gunpowder, upside down. Oh, and I also said, buy her a MP3 player that plays all music backwards. And what else did I say? I know she got a gift certificate, a $200 gift certificate to Hot Topic. And I think I gave her a gift certificate to someplace else and I forgot. But anyway, the list was just funny. To us. Now, to you guys, probably not so much, but it was hilarious to us. And so we started sending pictures back and forth. So when my friend actually sent a photo of a baby smoking a cigarette with like demon eyes, and I was like, oh my god! So we were laughing. I was like, so at the end of it, they ended up all going to the baby shower because we made fun of it. It was fun. So when they got back, I was like, how was it? And they were like, oh, it was dull. The cake wasn't even good, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what about the halftime entertainment? And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, didn't the baby slither out between her legs, eat the raw meat with the gunpowder and slither back up in her? And again, all funny to us, but I don't think it's going to be funny to her. Like, it's just, I don't think anybody would take that kindly. Like, I know you're probably like, that is just mean, and I'm not saying I'm a nice guy, and I'm not gonna say that I am, but it was funny to us. It was like we were being mean girls and it was fun. It's like we wasn't telling her, we didn't intend on her ever finding out. I mean, she probably is, but we had no intention. But whatever. What can you do? What can you do? I mean, I don't know. I just never would have thought in a million years somebody would have. I just don't see someone ever doing that. Like, I don't see it. And I'm like, why would anybody do that? But whatever. What do? You roll with it and keep it moving. But wow, I really don't have anything. I was just like, wow. So last thing, I'm really digging these tights for men. I'm really digging them. I hate to say it, but I want some. I don't know what I'm gonna wear them with because I'm over kilts. Kilts, if people here in Portland have ruined me against kilts, I'm not into them anymore. I used to love them, but now not so much. But I love kilts. I mean, I love tights. I love the ones that Nike makes these really cute camouflage ones. They're adorable. I was thinking it'd be cool to kind of wear them with like a black skirt. But then, Caitlyn is kind of messing shit up for everybody. There's no shock anymore. I'm not even going to go into that. Not going to have that conversation. Because it's not going to make people happy how I feel. Or not that I really care. But I do kind of care. But I don't. You know how I feel. But, wow, I cannot believe our time is really, really almost over already. So, I'm going to end by saying I hope you guys have a great week. And just know that I am going to plan to be back next Saturday. Have a few more things to discuss with you. Hopefully I'll be living in a better place. Because I am ready to get up out of here. This dude ain't gonna drive me to drink. You hear me? I know, I just need to find my own place. Like, why can't the universe be kind? The universe has not been good to me. But you know what? I press on. Yes, I do. Hallelujah. I do. And I want you to press on too. So if you're going through stuff, you know what? I get it. I totally get it. I'm with you. So, as always, I always love that you listen to the show. Don't think that I have forgotten you. I'm still working on getting those calls. It's going to be expensive. So I have to invest. But I'll do it. I'll do it next month. So that way we can take phone calls and get some good guests on the show, blah, blah, blah. And until then, children, laugh hearty, be good to one another, kiss a man, suck a dick, and just live life. Until next week, I'm Omari Abasi, your host. And you know what? Jesus lives in Portland. Good night.